Welcome, everybody. This is your girl, Trae Holiday. I am so glad that you are with me for another episode of Feel Good Friday. It definitely is a Feel Good Friday, and I've been able to touch base with some amazing folks throughout the week to bring you some great interviews and great clips. And again, all in the effort to have y'all feeling good out there. One of the first clips that I am excited to get into, we were able to dive in with Nina Yarbrough from For Culture. Nina is going to tell us a little bit more about these funding sources that For Culture has for cultural institutions and individuals doing amazing artistic style work. There's a wide variety of ways for you guys to apply for this, but they've made it simple. One application for 3 different funding sources. Listen to Nina tell you a little bit more about it. Hi, everybody. It's me, Trae Holiday, and joining me for this interview today, I have Nina Yarbrough with For Culture. She's the Arts Program Director, and they're here to let us know a little bit more about this funding source that is available to all of y'all. The deadline is coming up. What's up, Nina?
Hi, Trae. How are you doing?
Doing well, doing well. Thanks so much for joining me today. I know we've talked to you guys a little bit before and just really getting the information out here to the community about some of the opportunities you guys have around funding. Nina, tell us about what you do in particular for Culture.
Sure. So I am about a month and 20 days into my new role as the Arts Program Director. And basically, I get the honor of just working with some really cool people in the arts department. And we basically serve lots of different arts organizations and cultural organizations throughout King County, including individuals. And that includes lots of different funding opportunities, different programs that enable people to just participate and share their artwork with the folks of King County.
Awesome. And, you know, For Culture is such a staple here in Seattle and throughout King County. Love the work that you guys do. And these funding sources, I mean, as we got to speak with Chieko, we got a great deal of information to give out there to the community. But let's be refreshed a little bit in this interview here. Nina, tell us a little bit more about these funding sources that are available through For Culture right now.
Sure. So For Culture has teamed up with the Seattle Office of Arts and Culture to offer arts and cultural organizations. There are 3 grant opportunities through 1 application. And so organizations that have received funding through For Culture and organizations who are new to For Culture have the opportunity to go through this 1 application process that will be viewed between, again, the City of Seattle Office of Arts and Culture and For Culture. And so the funds are For Culture Sustained Support, which is kind of our regular general operating support that we give out to organizations throughout King County. And then there are the federal recovery funds, right? So we're still in a pandemic. It's still like, it's a panini press. And so a lot of cities and counties were infused with a lot of great federal dollars. And so Office of Arts and Culture and For Culture have teamed up so that we can basically just have one way to start vetting folks and getting the money out into the community and out into folks' hands.
Yeah, it's so important right now. I mean, every time that I'm able to sit down and have an interview with anybody from the arts community, the ideas of how specifically the arts community was hit was like a trifold almost, right? Because you had venues that were closed. I mean, you had to get creative in terms of keeping artistry alive. You know, a lot of folks that are, you know, also artists do the gig economy. So whether it was restaurants closing, so then their main source of financial support was shut down. There was a wide variety of ways that I think the artist community has been hit and has had to suffer through this pandemic with all of us. And so I love that For Culture is being that explicit about these funds to be sure that, hey, we remove the barriers so people can apply easily. How has it been for you in this first month and 20 days to understand some of the breadth of the community that For Culture has around it?
Sure, thanks. And it's a reminder that King County is huge. So prior to coming to For Culture, I worked for the Central District Forum for Arts and Ideas, which is located in the Langston Hughes building in the Central District. And my life has been pretty contained to Seattle. And one of the biggest benefits. And one of the things that drew me to For Culture is it means that I get to look out and see just how broad and expansive and like honestly diverse King County is, because life exists outside of Seattle, right? And I think it's hard for people to kind of see that, but there's so much happening on all the different communities. And so just in this past, like, my nearly 2 months, I've just been able to connect with and see, I got to go to Nepantla Art Gallery for the first time, which was an amazing Latinx cultural space that is located on Delridge, kind of right between West Seattle and White Center. And For Culture was invited to for their Dia de los Muertos celebrations to put up an ofrenda. I'm starting to get, information from places like Newcastle, hearing about what's happening in, Kent, Renton, shoreline area. So it's been a reminder, and I think a really awesome opportunity to see just how expansive the county is and how much of a need there is for support of the arts and cultural sector just broadly.
Amazing. Nina gave us some great insight right there. I know we were able to talk to Chieko before, and we're keeping you guys engaged and informed on this process because we really want to make sure that our cultural institutions know about this funding source and are out there applying for it. Nina does say later in the interview that the deadline is November 5th. So if you know of any cultural institutions or individuals who are doing that kind of work, please make sure that you share this opportunity with them. We want to engage. And honestly, as I said to Nina in the interview later on, I said, look, I'm excited for the end result of what that funding means. That means we get to see more artistic cultural programs and art shows and different things out there. And I'm all about that life. So honestly, if you guys know of anybody who could benefit from these funding sources, please make sure they know about the information. Well, after this short break, I actually get a chance to sit down with Davita Ingram and Louise Rodriguez as they work on the What the World Needs Now campaign. So I'm looking forward to showing you guys a little bit about my conversation with them. And so you guys can learn more about this campaign. And they're deeming it #Dreamathon. So stay tuned after this short break. We'll be right back. You're watching Feel Good Friday.
Lisa Gordon here on Converge Media, giving you that tip you didn't know you needed for Market Street Shoes over in Ballard. Check this out. Not only do they have great shoes for the summertime, but they have the shoes that you didn't even know you needed for the fall and winter. We all know it not only rains and snows a lot out here, so you definitely need those boots, but you also need a little bit of luggage, or at least a bag to put your clothes in, because let's be frank, we all love to get out of here during the fall and winter and go somewhere a little bit warmer. So whether you need accessories, shoes, or a little bit of luggage to jump on that plane, trust and believe Market Street Shoes has everything that you need. You just need to pull up and find it.
King County Elections has mailed your ballot and it's on its way to you. The future of our cities and King County as a whole will literally be in your hands. From council members to mayors to school board directors and port commissioners, the people who will craft policies and laws that will guide our region are on the ballot. Wherever your passions lie, be it social justice to the environment, housing, homelessness, business, education, and of course, COVID recovery, who is elected will impact these issues. Many races this year are expected to be very close. Your vote very well might make that difference. Your vote is your voice. Make sure your voice is heard. Get up, get out, go vote. No excuses.
Welcome back, everybody, to Feel Good Friday. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. And as I said before, I got the chance to sit down with Davita Ingram and Louise Rodriguez, two amazing community pillars who have stepped up to the plate to partner on an amazing initiative of what the world needs now, the #Dreamathon. Listen as Davita gives us a little bit more insight into what this initiative is all about. Welcome, everybody. I am your girl, Trae Holiday, and I get to have a great interview right now with a few folks that are working on the What the World Needs Now initiative. Joining me right now is Davita Ingram. Hi, Davita.
Hi, Trae. How are you?
I'm doing well. Well, great to have you with us today.
It's good to be here. I love your studio.
Oh, thank you. You know, we're working on it over here at Converge, but really we love to get people in here so we could talk about what's going on in community. Tell the people what the Dream-a-thon and the What the World Needs Now initiative is all about.
Sure. So we started what the world needs now as a conversation, getting ready for fall and winter. If you think about last fall and winter, it probably was a tough time. We definitely were at the first leg of the pandemic. We were going into the colder, shorter days, and just to be with it, we wanted to team up with artists, cultural workers, community organizers, because quite often they know what our community needs. And what we found out from doing research and doing things around public health during the pandemic is when communities are able to shape the response to the pandemic, we do better. And we love art and culture, so we wanted that at the center. And so there are so many artists, Will Jordan in Tacoma, Carla Rons, Real Be Free. There are so many different artists that teamed up. I'm particularly excited that we get to show solidarity work too. Our Pacific Islander communities and Native communities have done a tremendous job in their cultural response to COVID. And we know right now that Black and Latinx communities need a little bit more support to get over the finish line. And of course, coming out in the late fall, we're going to have the kids vaccination campaigns likely. And we often still have a lot of questions. So we wanted to leave the space to say, hey, these are the months where we get together. I don't know about you, but my family does Thanksgiving, Christmas, the winter holidays across faith. And we wanted it to be special, even on down to Halloween. In a week, we're going to do Halloween. I love Halloween. My dad was born on Halloween. So, we got to figure out what we can do to stay safe together and also to make sure people have what they need and can honor their decisions.
Well, I really appreciate the intersectionality of looking at COVID through an artistic lens. What are some of the things that folks are doing as part of this amazing initiative and campaign to bring out what they know community needs are, as you guys are asking real specific questions and people are able to do it in such a wide variety of ways?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you what happened this weekend. There's a lot, and I'm trying to keep it short because I'm really excited about this project. But over the weekend, we did the kids clinic. And we teamed up with two artists. One was a young Native American artist named Victoria Oliveira. And she got to rock with children who are under 12. Because a lot of times when we talk about unvaccinated people, we don't really put the babies who are under 12. I know my middle school folks don't think of themselves as babies, but there are babies. They're unvaccinated and they should have a say. So we had them team up with Dr. Ben Danielson, who I love, and Aaron Dixon, who of course was one of the co-founders for the Seattle chapter of the Black Panthers. And they had our art hangout. So they made art over Saturday just to talk about what the kids' pandemic experience is, but also to get to the community conversation. Some of the things that are happening in schools are really important for us to pay attention to. I know I was just talking to my godchildren's mom. She's a dear friend of mine, and she was explaining, hey, there's stuff going on with school buses. Sometimes the school buses aren't here. Other families are trying to figure out in school or online. And those are important conversations. So we used art because most young people, if they're in school, they're wondering, how do I wear my mask? How do I hang out with my friends? And then if they're online, they have a really flat experience. So we had to make it fun. So that's how we're doing creative things. I'm really excited that Real Be Free and Carla Rons are going to do the virtual dance party too. So there's many different things that are happening. And I would be really remiss if I didn't shout out the Pacifica Wayfinders. They are a cultural dance group, but they also knock doors to get their community vaccinated. So there are a lot of different things that we've been doing.
Wow. Davita broke it down for us, you guys. And, if you guys want to see the full interviews of any of these clips, you guys can always find them at whereweconverge.com. You guys know we put this stuff up on our Instagram, our Twitter, Facebook. It's in all of our platforms. So if you guys are looking for the full interviews, you guys can find them there. And I also got to sit down with Louise Rodriguez of The Station up there on Beacon Hill. Amazing cultural space for those of you who know it well. It has become so beloved by the community. And Louise sat down with me to tell us a little bit about how The Station and he and his wife have partnered with Davita and others in this initiative of what the world needs now, the #Dreamathon, and really utilizing their space as a part of this amazing initiative. Listen to Louise tell you more.
What's up?
What's up, Trae? How you doing?
I'm good.
Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. I'm doing well. And, first off, I just got to say your presence in community is felt, bruh. That is the truth. I mean, I've heard nothing but great things about the station. I've been there many times myself. And the work that you guys are doing is so integral to Beacon Hill. How have you guys been involved in this campaign for what the world needs now?
Well, first of all, it's pretty hard to follow after, the Vida. She knows all the answers for this. We are involved anytime that any leader comes and asks us for anything. First of all, we're surrounded by amazing leaders and amazing people in our community. So if they ask us for anything, we're down. Me and my wife Leona. The station, that's what it's there for. We're not just a coffee shop. We are there to help our marginalized people. So for me, it was easy. I'm like, what do you need? Let's do it. So it's very important for me to be part of that and help the community and know that the community knows that we are there for them. So that's my thing.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way to use space. Again, it's about making these necessary adjustments for all of us, and then being responsive to community needs, which I know is obviously, as Evita just pointed out, a major part of what the world needs now. And I love what she just said about it being love. That's what the world needs. And I think one of the things that I've experienced at the station is you and your wife's love of the community. And I think, I just want to give you guys a shout out. She's right here off camera. I just want to give you guys a shout out because the beautiful nature of that is very touching. And to me, it reminds me of exactly what our communities have always been, made of, It was, hey, my next door neighbor could raise me too. It wasn't this individualistic nature that I think we see now. And you guys are really breaking the mold, because I think during the rise of technology, a lot of people have been more and more individualized. And I think you're right. COVID is bringing us together in an amazing way. And I'm glad that the station is a part of it. I mean, as you think about this campaign, I know it's going to be kind of doing a good wrap up this weekend, but what are some of the things that, you're really walking away from by being included in this amazing initiative?
Man, what am I walking away? Like learning experience wise, definitely needing the love of my community. I know that, like I said, and I know I keep repeating this, but loving the community and your community loving you is been the most remarkable thing that I experienced. Having a wife that loves me and loves that community as well. Having two young kids who are, me being Mexican, my wife being Black, and then being Black Mexican. That is so we've been talking to our community for years since our kids were babies. We opened the station 11 years ago. So now my child just turned 18 and the other one 15. So we got two young Black men walking out in the streets. So we put our babies in social media since they were babies, right? Because we were trying to let the community see, these are my children. These are your children. Raising our children around a community, and I said this before in other interviews, is I'm raising soldiers around my babies, and those are my community. So when you see Mauricio, Leonardo, you know who they are. So I know that at the end of the day, years after we put that, a lot of people say, why do you put your kids on social media? I will never do that. I don't do that. And I understand, I understand the fear, because there are some people who are bad in this world, right? I did that to show them, these are my children, please take care of them. So now that this happened with COVID-19, now I see the results that, that they work and they are taking care of my kids. So that's to me, that's what I take out of this, that my community loves me and I love my community.
Well, absolutely. Luis definitely broke it down for us. And one of the things I love about what he said in the full interview was that, it's about loving the community and the community loving the station back. And they have really felt that love over the years that they've been opened, and the ways that it's brought love into their family. And so I just love how he actually showed us that and shared that with us, because honestly, some things you may not ever really understand until you hear it from the person who's experiencing it it. So for all of you out there that love the station, keep on pouring that love into that place, because they are truly feeling the love, and it expands in so many different ways. Well, this campaign is very unique, you guys. It is a real initiative, and as Davita shared, you know, it really has hit so many different ways that they have brought it together with different people, musicians, artists, people that are dealing with heritage, different cultural institutions. And, you know, King County Equity Now got to get in on the action. The media team created a small piece that could be a part of this initiative. As we all have dealt with COVID-19 and this pandemic, we've realized right here on Converge and beyond that the vaccine has created polarizing discussions in our community. KCEN, the media team, what they wanted to do was do something that really showcases a bit of how this is in influx for so many of us. Take a look at how King County Equity Now got in on the Dreamathon action.
People who don't get vaccinated deserve to die from COVID-19.
To go unvaccinated is to harm folks who are
Step
vaccinated.
in a hospital? No thanks.
It's just a prick.
I mean, it's so easy. Why wouldn't you do it?
You know what? We gotta protect our elders. It's silly and stupid for people not to get it.
You clearly
Who do
don't
they think
respect
they are?
because you're not getting vaccinated.
I don't want unvaccinated
Just
people around
get
me
it.
or
I
my
don't
kids.
trust everybody. I should probably
I
stay
hate wearing
home
my
'cause I don't know who's
mask.
vaccinated
I'm not
and
getting
who's not.
vaccinated. I'm not even wearing a mask anymore. They didn't even give us
a lady
the
put
COVID
medical
testing.
to her I mean,
arm. Why
come
are they
on, guys.
giving us the
Who trusts
vaccine
the
shot?
government anyway?
Who
Anybody
knows?
They're just
remember
rebranding the
Tuskegee
cold. I
Airmen?
don't understand why people don't just
My
listen to
doctor's been
science.
wrong before.
Vaccines are scary.
I mean, they came out with it way
Hospitals
too
said
quick.
they're
Oh, yeah, I
safe.
got me
How can
wrong.
anybody trust
They're
that?
safe.
Are you getting the booster? If you don't get the booster,
It's all
you're being
fake.
selfish.
Don't
Well,
be
the only one
stupid.
I trust is Pfizer. Anybody
Johnson
who got
Johnson
anything
uses
other than
prisoners
Pfizer
for their
is a
experiments.
joke. I mean,
I'm
this
not
is
getting
also
it
messed
until
up.
FDA
People who
Now
are
he's
running to
feeling
this
really
vaccine
bad.
don't look like straight
Enough!
shit.
Enough!
At the end of the day, it's difficult just to have these two sides. It's difficult and taxing and wears on all of us.
Well, well, well. Shout out to all of the members over there at the King County Equity Now media team. That is my team, y'all, so I'm a little bit biased, but they did a great job pulling that together. And honestly, I think so many of us out there have really dealt with this wide variety of ways and opinions and perspectives that the vaccine has brought into our community. So, you know, what we really need now is love. And Davita talked about that in her interview. And I agree that if we're all approaching this in love, ultimately we have to, like Omari always says, give space and grace for anybody who is different than you or has a different opinion. Let's not allow it to divide us out there, you guys. After this short break, I get to bring in a little bit more Feel Good Friday vibes for you guys. We got our guy Kel from Truly Unruly that airs right here on Converge. He got to be on Fox Soul. They said, we need Kel to be a part of this parenting discussion. So stay tuned after this short break. We'll be right back. You guys are watching Feel Good Friday.
It's Gordon here on Converge Media, giving you that tea you didn't know you needed for Market Street Shoes over in Ballard. Check this out. Not only do they have great shoes for the summertime, but they have the shoes that you didn't even know you needed for the fall and winter. We all know it not only rains and snows a lot out here, so you definitely need those boots, but you also need a little bit of luggage, or at least a bag to put your clothes in, because let's be frank, we all love to get out of here during the fall and winter and go somewhere a little bit warmer. So whether you need accessories, shoes, or a little bit of luggage to jump on that plane, trust and believe Market Street Shoes has everything that you need. You just need to pull up and find it.
Welcome back, everybody, to Feel Good Friday. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. And it's just been feeling so good in here. All of these clips really are a part of that vibe of feeling good. And this next clip does not disappoint at all, as our guy Kel from Truly Unruly got to be a part of a discussion on Fox Soul. Who knows who's watching all of these things that we have coming out of Converge. Kel was invited to be a contributor to this discussion around parenting. And here he says something that's very interesting. And I got to say, I agree 100%. Listen to Kel break it down.
Terrible idea. It's something that our ancestors didn't do. And the only reasons why our ancestors adopted it was because it was something that European colonialists were doing to their own children. If you look at Dr. Stacy Patton from the ASA, she has an amazing article on how pre-colonial West Africa, their tribes and societies held their children to a higher regard because they believed that their kids were gods or reincarnated ancestors. And the reason why they didn't hit their kids is because they believed that that would scare the soul away. And the North American indigenous people believed the exact same thing. But the only reason why we ended up started spanking our kids is A, from our slave masters, and B, because of our people being brutalized, genocide, and the violence. It made our society harsher, so it made parenting harsher.
Well, there you have it. Shout out to Fox Soul for realizing that Kel needed to be a part of this amazing discussion. Appreciate your contribution to that discussion, Kel. And I agree 100%. We have learned over the years, when you know better, you do better. And when we think about the ways that spanking has plagued our communities to a certain degree, yes, we need our kids to be disciplined, but we can do it in different ways. And so I appreciate you, Kel, for mentioning that and bringing that idea to light. Oh my goodness, it's been an amazing Feel Good Friday today. A couple more updates for you guys because there are some amazing events happening this weekend. I do want to send another shout out to What the World Needs Now Dreamathon. They will be having a virtual dance party happening. It's going to be from 7 to 9. You guys can actually find all of the information for the Dreamathon events that are coming up on Seattle Public Library's Facebook page. They do have some events that you can register for, so you guys can find out more there. And there is going to be an amazing event happening at Garfield Park. The Garfield Superblock team is doing another event where they're really just celebrating. They finally got some funding to move this project forward. The Legacy Promise Promenade project is moving forward and really thinking about the redevelopment of Garfield Park. So on Saturday from 12 to 4, bring your families out. It's all about painting the park. There's going to be these ginormous letters that all of the family members can get in on and paint. And then you guys can learn more about this redevelopment project. It has been so many years in the making. Kudos to all of the community members that have pushed this forward. Special shout out to Mr. Robert Stevens, one of the amazing community elders and pillars that said no matter what, he stayed on it. He stayed steadfast to ensure that this project kept light in the city of Seattle. And no matter what, he was like, I don't care. We're going to pull a new team together. We're going to get people. We're going to get the city to do what they said. And he has really, really shown up to pull together this committee that is now working really hard to make this happen. So bring your friends and family and all your folks out. There'll be some great food out there. Again, great music with a DJ. We got Vitamin D on the 1s and 2s. Def Chef will be out there with his food. We also have another food vendor. I mean, you guys, we want you to come out and enjoy yourselves and paint the park. So again, another friendly event. And also another event coming up this weekend. The Emperor's Group is bringing us the Great Debate. For those of you who are still on the fence about who you're voting for, oh my goodness, this debate may be the one where you want to tune in so you can figure out who you're voting for. Understand where these future elected officials, what their platforms are, what their strategies and approaches are. Understand where they are on issues that matter to you. So if you're looking for more information, please check out the Great Debate. As Julius Caesar told me, he said, oh no, this is not a candidate forum. This is a real debate. So it'll be a great showdown for those of you who are still on the fence, or those of you who know what you want. Maybe you still want to hear that candidate making sure that their approach and their strategy is in alignment with what you're looking for. A couple of programming notes for Converge right here. This weekend, we also have Weird at Night coming up on Saturday at 10 p.m. And of course, Truly Unruly on Sunday at 7 p.m. I think I got it all out, you guys. I'm so grateful to all of you to be here with me on these amazing Feel Good Fridays. I love being here with you all, and I appreciate you guys supporting us right here at Converge and supporting me in this effort for Feel Good Friday. Hope this episode made you feel good as much as it made me feel good. See you next Friday.